So, Michael, as we're talking about side projects, what kind of side projects have you been engaging with these days?
Well, lately it's been this what I call a podcast, this Educational Designers United. It's coming up on a year now. I've interviewed almost over 30 guests, 150 clips, and that's something that I've been really putting my effort into. Comes from a desire to pay it forward a little bit. I feel like there's up and coming designers that might really be able to benefit from professionals like yourself. Um, I want to connect with my friends a little bit more. I also want to try to connect with those and strengthen those secondary ties or weaker ties, if you will, because a lot of times weaker ties could turn into to stronger ties, and there's a lot of people out there that we should be connecting with, I think. So this is one way for me to do it, helping each other in case we need something from each other in terms of a vouch or a job opportunity or a link to something. How can we help each other? I think trying to do it through this side hustle or side gig. Um, I want to really get the best ideas from people like you out and have that be part of a network. But I tell you, while I have a lot of ideas, I don't really know how to monetize this, how to grow it sort of much bigger, um, how to change the shape of it. These are things that maybe I need to see this more as a business endeavor, or maybe not. Maybe it should be a smaller side gig, just out of built out of simply gratitude. But part of me would love it for it to be bigger. And like a lot of people out here, I think in our audience, I don't really know how to do that. So, I see people like you taking an idea, a side project, a labor of love, and then growing it into a business. I'm not at the point yet where I would know how to do that, but I'm thinking about it. And I would and anyone out there, including you, that had any ideas on how to do that or where to start, I'd love to hear. So, what do you think?
So, one anecdote that I can share that I think connects a lot to kind of the origins and the intent of, this show here. So a guy who I worked with at a school in New Jersey for several years, we became like longtime collaborators. So this is Steve Valentine, who we've written a couple of books together. And, we've attempted to find, some niche or success in the book publishing world, but like that's really not where we didn't have like some New York Times bestseller or anything like that. But we really like writing together and we really like publishing our thoughts. So a couple of years ago, we were watching like how the Substack platform was helping to amplify authors and people like doing thought leadership and stuff like that. So we were like, well, what if we alter our collaborative writing style from like the book format to like the monthly newsletter format? And I think we're 2 years in now, and it's still like, there's nothing gigantic about it, but there's a revenue model. But what we found is by having like putting in the time and being consistent over a 2 year period, now what we're seeing is how the Substack machine is actually helping to generate readership and promotion across other Substacks. So some of it just takes time and consistency. And so it's hard to like, I want it to be like blow up and be, have impact at a scale so quickly. But I found that being like consistent and like committed is actually some of the best way to see like some of those paths open up 1 or 2 years later. Like this show has been on for a little while now, as I understand it. So part of it is also in that consistency and then figuring out what are the channels to kind of build a core audience and then ideally hit that viral formula.